Welcome to Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast. Today, episode number 77, we're going to be taking a look at an event that was such a debacle that Twitter could not stop talking about it. We're also going to be taking a look at a coin that is pumping insane that was down 98%. And then we're going to take a look at top UFC fighters, and we want to know who is the best UFC fighter of all time, so you're definitely not going to want to miss it. Also, guys, whatever platform you're listening to, please don't forget to rate and review the podcast. That helps us to get more listeners to the show. So thank you guys so much for listening. Here's the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beards and Bitcoins. We're a crypto podcast for the man's man. Oh yes, and the ladies that love them. As always, I am joined with my compadre, my amigo, my co-host, Ben Armstrong. What's up, doggy?
Not much, man. Just chilling, making it happen one day at a time. And you are actually getting ready to do something pretty fun. You want to tell us about it?
I will. I got that fresh fade ready. I got my bags packed, and I'm ready to go. Got an early morning flight tomorrow to Tampa, Florida, and I am setting sail on the high seas, going on a cruise.
Wait. I just realized, are you going to be on the cruise during the Super Bowl?
That's what it is. It is a Super Bowl cruise. My buddy and I have been doing this for a couple years now. We take a cruise, sans the wifeys, sans the families. We're going on a man's cruise for the Super Bowl. I feel that just sounded terrible.
Dude, that is so cool. So let me get this right. You guys are going on an all-male cruise during the Super Bowl. That is the manliest thing I've ever heard. So it's a cruise with all dudes. I love it, dude.
No, I think that was a misunderstanding there.
Was it? Yes.
There will be plenty of other people on the cruise, not just men.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely good to know.
Well, you got to be gender inclusive. I'm sure there'll be some people that don't adhere to the male-female thing.
Right. How many genders are there, though? Here's the question. How many genders are there? I'm putting you on the spot. This is big.
There are two. There are men and non-men.
I like it. I can go with that. What about aliens, though?
Aliens?
I've never seen their private parts, so I don't know what gender they are.
I don't think they reproduce like that, so I don't think they have a gender.
Oh, okay. Do they finger touch? Is that how they do it? Finger touch?
Family friendly, man.
Family friendly. Keeping it family friendly here. So that's cool. You're going on a vacation. Yeah. I thought, man, it might be cool. What's the coolest vacation you've ever been on?
Ooh, man, I've been on some really cool ones. I'm a cruiser though, so this is something we do every year. I go on a couple cruises a year. I think for my honeymoon was probably the best vacation I ever went on. It was a 2-week long cruise. We did the ABCs of the Caribbean. We went to 9 islands in 2 weeks. I think by far the coolest, not just because it was my honeymoon, but because of all the fun stuff that we did. One of my favorite things probably that I've ever done away from the United States was on that cruise. We went to St. Kitts. And I got my wife to we rented ATVs, and so we went on this non-active volcano. And after 5 minutes, she was so comfortable. She was ripping around corners. She was flying this thing. So it was so fun. And then after that, we followed it up with a beach day. And this was, when I tell you, probably one of the most soothing sounds I've ever heard in my life. The waves, how they came in on St. Kitts at this beach, but it was these little micro shells. So it made this little tiny jingle of shells. Coolest sound I've ever heard. Coolest place I've ever been to. That's mine. What about you?
We've done all the vacations pretty much. We've been, the family. We do the family vacations. So we went to Disney World. Legoland, took the kids down there. We recently went to Disney World just a couple months ago, stayed on property, which was really cool. But we've been to the beach. We've done the whole thing. I've been to Cancun. I've been all kinds of places. But the coolest trip I ever went on was when I was 13 years old, and my grandpa took me on spring break. We went like on a road trip. And to me, that was
Oh,
the
fun.
coolest vacation. We went to Washington, D.C. So that was the thing. Like, we wanted to go to Washington, D.C. and see everything. And we went there and we were like, we saw everything in a day. We were like, well, let's just keep going. So then we ended up driving up to New York City. And so we went to the Statue of Liberty. We went to Ellis Island. We saw everything there was to see in New York City. And we're like, we're not done yet. So then we ended up driving all the way up to Niagara Falls and going up there. And it was definitely really cool. That is a really long drive,
Yeah, but that's awesome, man. You guys hit all the hot spots.
Yeah, and it's something that we'll always have, me and my grandpa together, that we did that trip when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. And I do remember that when we were at the Capitol, we were at the U.S. Capitol in D.C., and I got lost. So my grandpa, like, he's like, I'm gonna sit down for a minute, you can go walk around. So I ended up getting lost in the Capitol, and I'm actually like walking back like where like the senators' offices are and the congressman offices. I'm like 13, and they're all staring at me, and I'm just walking around. And it took me like 30 minutes to find my way back. And my grandpa was like, every single person here thought I was a terrorist. Thanks, son.
Oh man, that's not a position you want to be in these days, though.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, this was back before 9/11, so I mean, it was definitely much different back then.
Do you remember like flying and taking trips like pre 9/11, where I mean, there was no TSA, you never took your shoes off, none of that. Like you could just, we were people flying, moving around the air.
I only flew one time when I went to Mexico. That's the only time I ever flew when I was a kid, like before 9/11. I mean, when 9/11 happened, I was 18, I think 18 or 19. So, but yeah, it was definitely much different. So pretty much all my flying life, though, I mean, I've just known the TSA, and they still do, like, it gets crazier and crazier every time. Have you ever like seen like, I'm sure you have because you travel more than I do. The bomb sniffing dogs, like they make you like wait in the line and then you walk by and the dog walks around you and it's like, it's a little overkill. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
There was one time I was flying back from Vegas and I had I brought a little stuff back on with me. I was coming home.
Some oregano.
And I have Clear because I do fly quite often. That's where you scan your fingers or your eyeballs to get through. Right. And I'm thinking, hey, I'm fine. And this one particular time, everyone, no matter who you were, what your status was, you were going through, and they brought the dogs walking by you. And they were checking for bombs, and I was sweating bullets. But as you can see, I'm here.
Well, I'd made a TikTok when I was walking through TSA that showed the sniffing dog, and the caption was, "I have a larger than regulation size of toothpaste in my bag, and I am so scared right now." Dude, I'm a killer when it comes to sneaking in the toothpaste. But anyway, speaking of security, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, starting with Monarch, who is a very safe crypto wallet. I think you want to say a little something about Monarch, right, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. The team at Monarch, we know them real well. They are working hard to bring you the one app to access all of the best crypto services right there in the palm of your hand.
That's right. You can buy, store, spend, and earn most ERC20 tokens, among a ton of other features.
Yeah, that's absolutely really cool. And if you need some more information, make sure you check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today.
And additional support for the Beards and Bitcoins channel comes from Manscaped, the leaders in below the belt grooming.
Yes, fellas, you listen up. We all need to take care of our hair down there, all right? So check out manscaped.com today for some more information. They've got this thing called the Lawnmower 2.0. It's got proprietary skin-safe technology. This trimmer is not going to nick or snag your nuts, all right? It means manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. Trust us, guys. Your balls and that special someone in your life are going to thank you.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code BEARDS for 20% off and free shipping. That is manscaped.com, code BEARDS. And, it's really cool that we've been talking vacations because a lot of people are getting ready to go on more vacations very soon. And what I mean by that is the market's pumping and everybody's going to get rich.
Pump. Oh man, isn't it? It's so fun. It's like, I look forward to waking up and checking Blockfolio, popping into my crypto.com app and seeing where things are. I think I've actually been doing that more often than Blockfolio lately because I've got, I'm doing some of the earn features. So it's fun to see that grow every day.
Oh, I love to see it grow much bigger. That's my
Yes.
favorite thing.
That's
Listen,
what she said.
that's what she said. Listen, let me tell you this. I have really been looking a lot, and I've brought it up on several videos I've done. Have you seen this stock to flow chart?
No.
Okay, so the stock to flow chart is a chart that basically works off of the amount of Bitcoin in circulation and then the flow of that Bitcoin. And it has everything to do with the halvening, basically. And this chart has never been wrong. Like the price of Bitcoin may go above or below the chart, but it always snaps back at the chart. And it really makes me think, like, over the last couple of years, when we all started creating content, and we all started creating content basically either at the very end of the bull market or at the beginning of the bear market. And it's been very discouraging, and we've all wanted the price to go up because we want listeners, we want followers, we want to make money. Everybody wants that. But the reality is Bitcoin is designed to pump during certain times. It's designed to pump leading up to the halvening. And that stock to flow chart really shows that. It shows us getting up to $90,000 by next May. So in about 16 months from now.
So pack your bags, load them up, buy your Bitcoin. This is not financial advice, but buy you some Bitcoin.
It is financial advice. You buy it.
You buy.
I don't give up. Sue me.
We don't give a rip.
No, we don't give any rips around here. That is financial advice. Y'all can take that to the bank. Sue me. If Bitcoin is not 90,000, I'm just kidding. Y'all, please don't sue me. That's all a joke. I'm really not a financial advisor. Justin might be. I'm not.
No.
This is financial advice. Don't buy Bitcoin. So there you go. There you guys go. But in all seriousness, though, the price is looking very, very juicy right now. And it is in May, according to the stock to flow chart, is when the price is really going to start rising immediately following the halvening. And I believe that $100,000 Bitcoin within 500 days is almost 100%.
It's not undoable. I mean, yeah, I think we're over 10% in the last week. So it's nice to see, it's been a grind, right? Like what you were saying, making content through a bear market it's tough, but we're firm believers. We're here for you. We enjoy bringing you information, news, stories, collections of everything. That's what we do. That's why we're here. But it's been a grind, man, and it feels good to kind of be on the happier side of things.
Yeah, and to have some hope. Last year when we went to Bitcoin 2019, the price was going up and it felt very exciting. But if you look at the stock to flow chart, like that was an abnormality. Like it actually shouldn't have been pumping during that time. And a lot of people think that when we did go from 6,000 very quickly up to 14,000, that was purely based off of the OneCoin and Plus token Ponzi schemes that have basically really propped up the price of Bitcoin. And looking back on it, it looks like that was the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy. Like you said, I'm going on vacation. I hope that everyone listening to this show is going to take a 2020 vacation. I love, like on crypto Twitter when they're like, we're all getting girlfriends.
It's just Charles. He's the only one that says that, I think. Charles wishes he had a girlfriend.
That's funny. I love all these guys. They're so funny, man.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of incels out there on crypto Twitter that can only get a girlfriend if they have a huge amount of money, for sure. So, but I bet even they can't get girlfriends, even if they do have a lot of money. They'll just be like rich nerds, So
that's true.
You can't buy social skills.
No, but you can buy a mail order bride.
You can do that. You can do that for sure. And there definitely will probably be some people that will be doing that.
I wonder if there's a way to correlate the rise in Bitcoin with the rise in mail order brides.
We should make that chart. We should make that chart for those guys, for real though. But yeah, so let's move on. Speaking once again, like the theme today seems to be vacations. You guys may remember the Fyre Fest. We're gonna be talking about that in news break. News break. That's right, guys. Justin, you want to tell them a little bit about this story? Like, it is crazy.
This is crazy, man. So, all right, I'm sure if you're looking online, there's a festival, a crypto Bitcoin conference that's supposed to be happening in Memphis? It's in Memphis, Tennessee. It's supposed to be at the end of February. Now, this is, I think, the second or third time that it's been postponed for various reasons. There's a lot of people that are really kind of upset about it. I know it's really kind of been spearheaded by Rob. He's been on the show
friend
before.
of the podcast.
Yep, Tusk. He has been on the show, and there have been a lot of things going back and forth where all right, so the way that they said is, and usually if you're in the media, kind of like what we are, we go to conferences, we get asked to come to conferences, you get a media pass. This seems to be set up a little different, excuse me, where there are no media passes, or maybe there were very few. Other people looking to cover the event had said, okay, you can buy this package, and it includes your airline, your Airbnb, your conference ticket, and all this stuff.
You're stacking up that cash.
Stacking up the cash. But what was weird about it, and I think it was Amina. Amina's also a friend of the show. She had been offered to buy one of these tickets to the conference, but it came with a caveat where she had to buy this ticket within 30 minutes, or else it was being sold to someone else. Which, dude, we go to a lot of conferences. I have never heard that in my life.
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's no selling out a conference. I've never been to a conference that was sold out. They can always squeeze another person in.
Yeah, especially if you're someone with like a lot of followers and you make content. Those are the people you want at your festival, because that's how people find out about it. That's Exactly. How people promote it for you, and then that's how you have a second year. If you're charging everyone to that coverage your event, no one's gonna come back, man.
It's weird. So this guy's name is Jacob Kostecki. He's followed me on Twitter for a while. He's sent me messages. He's responded to a couple things I posted or whatever. And I'm really disappointed by the situation for sure. But it was a little weird to me because he had sent me a message and like, look, guys, I'm not famous by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not even the most famous Beanie Baby collector at our Beanie Baby conference, but I do have a following. I've got almost 18,000 followers on Twitter. I have about 15,000 on YouTube. And so usually when somebody sends me a message about coming to a conference, they're like, yeah, we'll give you a pass. They may not pay for the travel. They may not pay for, food. They may not pay for any of that stuff, but at least they're offering me a free pass. That way I can go cover it. I can cover it on my website, bitboycrypto.com. If it's for the podcast, we can go do a live podcast, and that's good coverage for the conference. So it's beneficial to them. But he didn't message me about anything like that. It was, hey, here's a promo code so you can get 10% off on your ticket. We'd really like to have you there. And I'm like, that's not the normal way that crypto conferences operate. So I was very apprehensive. Of course, I didn't buy a ticket. I didn't even really respond to him. I never responded to him. I don't think I've ever responded to a message he sent me. And if I did, it was very minimal. So it was just really weird. So, and I didn't even know when he asked me to buy a ticket for this conference, like maybe about 2 months ago, I didn't know this was the same conference he was asking me to buy tickets for last year. He's just postponed it. I thought maybe it was the second one, but I still never responded. So it's definitely pretty crazy. What's the guy's name in the Fyre documentary? The Fyre Fest. Is it Gary? Was his name Gary?
I think it was Gary. So who was it? It was Ja Rule was one of the co-founders. It was
Andy. It was Andy. His name was Andy.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
Andy was the guy who literally offered to give fellatio to one of the commanders in the country they were holding it at to save the festival. He was really ready to take one for the team there.
Holy moly!
Who is the crypto Andy? I need to know.
Oh God! Oh, that should be the poll for this week. Who's the
crypto Andy? Who's it gonna be?
All right, someone should start that alt account. Crypto Andy fired.
Yeah, but we didn't even really talk about what happened here. So basically, the long and the short of it is, this guy has been accused of being a scammer. The guy who set it up. There's a bunch of people who he owes refunds to, and then kind of as the stories came out, like he's from Poland and he's been in a lot of trouble in Poland. Like he's being sued. So there, people are saying he has warrants out there. That's why he's here.
He's changed his name to kind of go under the radar kind of thing, and that obviously came out pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. So, and once all this stuff started coming out, now everybody pulled out of the conference, and now he's had to, cancel the whole thing. And he's telling everybody that it's going to take him 6 months to pay back all the refunds. I can go ahead and tell y'all ain't getting no refunds. That ain't going to happen. You
ain't getting a refund. Actually, I just saw the other day, Pomp posted something because he was supposed to be there, and it was he's a pretty big name in the space, and so his name was up on the website and in the marketing materials, and he told the folks at the Crypto Fyre Fest, aka Mass Adoption, that he wasn't going to make it. please remove him from the website and the marketing materials, all that stuff. So I know that they've scrubbed a lot of the stuff off the website as of recently. So.
Yeah, well, it looks like the guy's just a straight up scammer, unfortunately. And you want to think people can change. I definitely believe people can change. So just because someone did something in the past, that is not necessarily a reflection of what they're doing now or in their future. I know I've got a crazy past. Nothing to do with money laundering or with, scamming people, just to do with my, things I was doing in my personal life as a teenager and in my 20s, like most of us have. But I don't want to be judged, 15 years later because of what I did before. But when you were just scamming people last year and now you're trying to do a crypto conference, that's a little sketchy. So
yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
So yeah, so definitely very interesting. We'll just have to keep following this. But let's talk about a token that some people thought was a scam, but now it's pumping.
Token time.
All right, Jay, let's talk about one of your favorite coins.
Ooh, when you say one of my favorites, it's one of my it's one of my favorites from. All right, everyone, this happened to everybody. So I know that it's not just me, right? Back at the tail end of 2017 when things were just raging. I mean, you could just throw a dart at a dartboard and get like a 10xer. And so I went heavy in on this coin, heavy. And it all proceeded to go like 99.9% down.
Some people might call it an iconic loss.
It was an iconic loss because the token of token time is Icon, ICX. Right. And so it's actually doing pretty well. It's up 10% today, 11%, excuse me. It's up to 25 cents. Let's see, market cap 130.5 million with a 24-hour trading volume of 65 million.
Yeah, Icon has been pumping all week. And when you look at all the charts for all the altcoins, it is just straight from the bottom left to the upper right. Like that's what you want to see on any growth chart. You want to see down in the bottom left, up in the top right. That means that it is on the way up. The funny thing is when you look on CoinMarketCap and you look at the full chart of the all-time history since basically the very end of 2017 to now, it is just like straight down. And at the very, 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 very end, you can see a little bump going up. And it just looks like that coin has been flatlined for so long. And Icon is a coin that was actually down at one time 98%. So it's still got a lot further to go. But that was, to me, when I think of the bear market and I think of the projects that like really led the charge of the bears, Icon's the first one that comes to mind for me.
Yep. I mean, that was, everybody speaking of diversification back in the day was, man, that was a hard hit for me. I sold at a big time loss. I never thought it was going to recover. I wouldn't say that it is close to recovering yet because it was probably close to $13 or $14 at one point. But man, it's good to see. I think it's up, at the time of recording this show, I think the 30-day it's up like 122%. So if you bought in on the long tail, good for you. If you were like me and bought a ATH,
let me do some math. Let me do some math here. So it was down 98% at its low. So from right now where it's at 20 about 26 cents. Let's see, divided by let's see what 4 times 12 is 4. It has to basically like 48x from here to get back to your to its all-time high. So
what are the chances?
I mean, pretty good. Is that math right? Because it's got a 4x to get back to $1, and then it's got a 12x from there. So yeah, it's got a 48x.
Golly, man,
to get back to the all-time high. That's crazy.
Well, you never know, man. Once alt season is
it could happen. It could happen for sure.
Yeah, it could. This is not financial advice, but hey, maybe buy a moon bag.
Well, that's been one thing that's been really interesting about this latest overall crypto pump is that we are seeing hope for the altcoins again. I mean, it looked like for a long time that maybe the Maximals were right. Like maybe the altcoins were never going to pump again, which I mean, I never really believed, but it was like, dang, maybe there's something to this because these altcoins are not budging. But now, I mean, they're really looking like they're getting ready to pop. I mean, we had last week where A lot of them were up 40%. BSV was up like 250%. Bitcoin Cash was up over 100%.
That BSV thing was an artificial pump, right?
I mean, I think so. We all think it was, but not necessarily that. But it wasn't all artificial, I don't think, because there was a court document filed on the behalf of Craig Wright that said that he had in fact received whatever from whatever courier.
The courier showed up.
Yeah, the courier for the Tulip Trust or whatever was supposed to send him. And the court document said he received it. But then, of course, later on it came out like, but he still doesn't have access to the Bitcoin that from Satoshi's wallet, because guess what? He's not Satoshi.
He's not Satoshi. He's such an albatross on this industry.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think Craig Wright is just a guy that people inside of crypto like to argue about. No one else cares. Like,
no one else. If you're outside of crypto, you don't even know who the guy is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a lot of people that are invested in crypto that have no idea what's going on with crypto. I would venture to say most people who have an investment in crypto, they couldn't even tell you who Craig Wright is.
I wonder what the percentage of people that are in, like, that hold crypto that don't participate in social media versus the people that do hold crypto. That
much larger. There's a much larger percentage of people that own crypto that are not in the community at all. They're not watching YouTube. They're not on Twitter. They're not on Reddit. I would say the vast majority of people that hold crypto are. Now, when I say crypto, I mean your major ones: XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Now, if you hold Nano, then yeah, you're probably in the community, because you're probably going to the Nano subreddit, or either you sold it. But a lot of people that own Bitcoin that lost a bunch of money, like trust me, I know a lot of people that own crypto that could care less what's going on. They're just like, one day it's going to go up, whatever, it's an investment, and they don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. What is Icon?
Icon, I believe, is like interoperability. I think it's part of like this thing called Interoperability Alliance, which is like Icon, OneChain, and Aeon, I think. But they have a platform that you can build dApps on and things like that. We know our friend Steve McGarry from Hack Crypto. He's real big on Icon, and he was actually at one point had me involved in a project where it was basically like incentivizing followers to do things to earn crypto tokens. It was built on Icon. So, and I think Icon also has like a masternode program where you can earn Icon by just holding a bunch of it. So that's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's kind of like everything else in crypto. Like it's not to its full form yet.
Yeah, they're still working on moving past the ICO. Here, I'm going to read a little bit on the vision section of the intro of the white paper. The vision of the Icon project is to introduce the new era of decentralization by redefining the meaning and communities and creating a new world by connecting such communities. Communities today are commonly defined as social and political functions. Through Icon, communities can go beyond and be free from traditional economic system and promote frictionless value exchanges with other communities. That's all I'm going to read.
Oh, great. Sounds like every other project I've heard of.
Yada, yada,
I mean, what
yada.
does it say there that's really different? That, like, if I read you that definition and said, name this project, you'd probably name 20 projects.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. It's funny. We've talked about this before. And back at 2017 and through most of 2018, I was working for an exchange, which no longer exists because it sucked. One of my jobs was to review every token project that was interested in being listed on the exchange. And then, we had this committee and then would list tokens and projects based on our findings.
Aren't you glad I rescued you from that?
You did, man. You were like my knight in shining armor. So you have given me such good advice throughout the years. Dump this project.
Just dump everything. That's I'm your friend. Everybody was telling you to buy and invest, and I was telling you dump it all.
And my man, you saved me.
Yeah, that's right. Well, speaking of saving, one person that could not be saved over the last couple of weeks was also known as Cowboy. Let's talk about it in manspreading. Manspreading.
Oh, yeah, dude. Manspreading this week. We're going to talk about UFC, the fight that just happened. It was a quick one between Conor McGregor and the Cowboy. What's his full name?
Sarioni, I think. I don't even know. It is Donald Cerrone. I just call him Cowboy.
I just call him Cowboy. That's all I know him as.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So it was definitely very interesting. It was a 40-second fight. And this was like a big main event, really, really built up. It was Conor's return to the UFC. I mean, pretty much everybody knows who Conor McGregor is by now. He had retired for a little bit, did the boxing thing with Floyd Mayweather, came back, and he knocked Cowboy out in 40 seconds. And the question is, with UFC fights, when you pay $60 for a fight, which I didn't, by the way, I watched somebody live stream it on Facebook, so I watched it for free. But don't tell the FTC that. But the question is when you pay $60 for a pay-per-view and this is all hyped up, is a 40-second knockout really what you want?
I would, I could probably argue both sides of the coin on this one, right? Because
you are so good at going both ways, it's unbelievable.
Shut up. What I like about a quick fight like that, a 40-second fight, is that it is just the ultimate fighting championship. Yeah. It is. That was just a UFC joke, but it's just, to have someone just, that dominant and to just blow someone out so fast is it's impressive. It does suck if you've paid a lot of money. Now they throw a lot of fights on these cards for this to happen. Yeah. Right. I mean, if you get the fight, you're going to see 6 to 8 fights, right? It's not the only one you're going to see. Obviously you want to see this main event go into the second round, I think, at least, because you want to get your bang for your bucks. But I like to see a quick knockout every now and then. But did you see what's that social media guy's name? Dan Blitzerian or whatever.
Yeah,
he's
always
got the honeys. Did you see how much cash he put up on Cowboy? Dude, it was like a table full. I think, dude, if it was not $1 million, it was darn close to $1 million in cash on a table. And like his whole thing post was, and he's like, "Hey, Cowboy, no pressure. This one, like, I'm betting on you, man." And Kapowski, he got lit up.
God, he got lit up so quick too. I mean, the thing about knockouts is sometimes they're kind of fluky. Like you just happen to connect that one shot. They turn a certain way. Like you might throw that same punch like 20 times. And just that one time, like he just happened to react. So he got him right on the chin, whatever it is. I mean, sometimes, the knockouts are brutal because, you can tell the other guy's just so much massively better. But Conor's got a lot of knockout power. And we saw what he did against Floyd Mayweather. I mean, it's not enough to knock out a boxer, that right. knows how to defend very well. But, I mean, here's the thing. I will say this. Do I love a 40-second knockout? Yeah, I do. I'll just say it. Yeah, I do. I do.
Right.
I would much rather see a 40-second knockout than a 5-round, 15-minute, draw with no knockout.
A dance-a-thon where they just kind of that is boring.
It's boring, and that's why I don't like Floyd Mayweather. Like I don't like to watch Floyd Mayweather fights because there's never knockouts in his fight. All he does is he'll hit you. It's basically like he's just playing for points. Like he's like, oop, there's a hit. Okay, I'm going to defend. Oop, there's a hit. Like I want to see people get knocked out. Like Mike Tyson's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I love seeing Mike Tyson knock people out for sure. And
they call me an animal.
Yeah, exactly. So I would love 40-second knockouts. I love 8-second knockouts. I love any knockout. I want to see a knockout. I don't want to see anything go to a judge's score at the end in anything I'm watching. And that's how I feel about it.
Remember a few months ago when we didn't we challenge some other crypto podcasters to a MMA fight?
Yeah. We said bad crypto. We're gonna beat them up.
We didn't even get a response. What's up? What's up, TW? What's up, Joel?
We're gonna.
You listening?
If you're listening, you're probably not, but if you are, we're coming for you. And if you are listening, we're really sorry. We don't actually mean it. I'm just kidding. I'll knock your mother out. Anyways,
you want to knock his mother out?
Yeah, I would knock his mother out in a second.
That's mean. That's mean.
I don't care.
She's probably a nice lady.
She might be. She might be a nice lady. It's even better when you knock her out. Now, Mike Tyson used to say he would knock an old lady out if he had to, like to eat, because that's how Mike Tyson got started. Is because he got started fighting for food because he was like,
oh really?
Oh yeah. He would have knocked out any lady on the street for food when he was younger. So,
reminds me of that joke. What do you tell a lady with 2 black eyes?
What?
Nothing. You already told her twice.
We are not advocating domestic abuse.
No, not at all. Please don't listen to that. It's a joke. I didn't make the joke up.
Just
I just tell it.
add that to the financial advice lawsuit, okay? Just add it. But listen, here's what we want to ask. Every week for Mansbrain, we got a question. We want to know, we're going to give our 2 best UFC fighters ever, in our opinion. We want to know, which one do you agree with? Which one of these 2 is the greatest ever? I'm going with John Jones. To me, John Jones is the best fighter ever.
Good pick.
Yeah.
One of go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love that he did cocaine and steroids. That's like my favorite thing about him.
That's, man, that'll put some hair on your chest for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big steroids guy.
And some pimples on your back.
I want all the athletes doing steroids. Like, if they want to do it, do it. I don't see what the problem is. Just pump them all up. Let's get the most achievement we can get. And John Jones was riding hard with that. John Jones has never been beat, I don't believe. I think he's undefeated. Let me check that. Is he undefeated? I think he is.
While you check that, my fighter for the poll this week is going to be none other than Chuck Liddell. I loved watching that guy fight, man. He was just a beast.
Yeah, he was a monster back in the day, for sure. And that was really, I mean, I actually watched like UFC 6 or something like that, like one of the very first ones, when it was like there weren't even weight classes back then. You'd have sumo wrestlers fighting little white guys or whatever.
Butterbean was a UFC fighter in the early days, right? He was like the big, like bald, like 400-pound guy.
Maybe. I don't know if he was or not, but I do know it was crazy back then, like, for sure. But then, like, it got popular, like really started getting popular around the time Chuck Liddell was really killing people and stuff like that, or knocking people out. Chuck Liddell's a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I'm still going with John Jones, pound for pound.
Ooh, I wonder how those guys would do in a fight against each other.
That would be an interesting. I mean, Chuck Liddell's probably out of his weight class a little bit.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. John Jones is light heavyweight, isn't he?
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure. I don't keep up with it that much. I've certainly watched a lot of them, but so his only loss was against Matt Hamill in 2009 in the Ultimate Fighter 10 finale. So that was Ultimate Fighter. Was John Jones on the Ultimate Fighter, like that show? In the Ultimate Fighter, the reality show?
It was the reality show where they had like the real UFC guys as the coach, right? And then it would be like teams of wannabe guys to get themselves into it. So Chuck Liddell was also a UFC light heavyweight champ as well. So he's 50 now. Yeah,
I know. Wow. It's crazy how fast they get old. Yeah, he is light heavyweight. So that would have been a good fight. Yeah, Chuck Liddell versus John Jones for sure. This says he has one loss and it's other. It wasn't a knockout, it wasn't a submission, and it wasn't a decision. It says other. I'll have to look into this and see what maybe some of our viewers know. Here it is. He got disqualified. His only loss ever for John Jones, he was disqualified for throwing illegal elbows. Boom, boom. Dude, I like a good street fight, man. I don't like all these rules they got now.
Just put him in a cage. So the whoever's alive gets out of the cage.
I like it, dude. Like I like the primal stuff. Like, let's get into it. Like, if I want to fight somebody, like I don't want to get in a cage. I want to go out back. I want to be able to poke your eyeball out. I want to be able
man.
I want to be able to hook you right here and rip your mouth open. That's what
you're gonna fish hook someone.
Oh yeah, I got fish hooked one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got catfished. That's what you got.
No, I got fish hooked for sure. It split my lip open and everything. Like, I was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was like, this wasn't last week, believe it or not, but I was probably like 16. I think I was a sophomore in the senior. I was driving through our neighborhood real fast, like crazy, and I yelled at him to slow down, and he got out and came and tried to fight me. And like, dude, I took him down so quick, and I was just like wailing on him, and then I got him in a headlock. And this guy reached up and he fish hooked me from the ground and split my lip open, sure enough. But dang. I didn't let go. I didn't let go until he basically tapped out. So punked him out. That's right. It was right in front of some high school girls. Some honeys. Too. I was like,
some honeys,
like real big.
Oh man, you got to show off in front of the honeys. That's for sure.
That's what it was all about. I was showing off in front of them honeys back in the day. So I might do it today, except I'm married, so don't have the same pop now. Now I just make TikTok videos to impress the ladies. That's all I got now.
There you go. You gotta do something.
Well, listen. Let's knock this episode out. Let's knock it out. Are you?
Pow.
Pow. over. Gonna give it the 1-2 count. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to the podcast today. Definitely a good episode. We talked about Icon. We talked about the Crypto Fyre Fest. We talked about vacation. We talked about the markets. We talked about a lot of stuff. You guys make sure to go join our new Telegram group, t.me/beards and bitcoins. Make sure you guys join that. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast. Follow us on Twitter @beardsbitcoins. We're out.
We out.